Hi guys, this is Ekenedli School and welcome to the Ekenedli channel. Today we are going to be talking about introduction to HTML. So I know most of you have been asking me what is HTML and how can we actually use and make use of HTML. All right, so this series is for you guys, those of you who are interested in understanding the concept of HTML. So HTML basically is short for Hypertext Markup Language. So we have H for the hyper, we have T for the text, M for the markup, and then we have L for language. So basically, HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. It's a language for the web, a markup language for the web. All right. So, okay, let's open this. All right. So HTML is a language for describing web pages. You use HTML to describe the structure of the web page, what are the contents you want to put, what are the images you want to put in there. Now, like I said earlier on, HTML means hypertext markup language, and it's what is basically used worldwide. Mostly every website you see is built with HTML. So HTML is the basic structure for describing web pages. It is not a programming language, it is a markup language. So HTML is not a programming language. It doesn't have major functionalities like other programming languages, like programming languages. So it is basically just a markup language. So a markup language is a set of markup tags. Okay, so for some of you who might want to ask me or want to find out what a markup language is, so it is just a set of tags used in describing a particular thing. For example, we have the p tag, we have the p tag, we have the title tag, we have the meta tag, we have the image tag, we have the HTML tag, the doc type tag, the header tag, and so on and so forth. The article tag. So there are so many different tags that make up the HTML language, and this is what we are going to be diving in today. So I'm going to be showing you a couple of different tags, and then helping you understand bit by bit what HTML is all about. And then we are going to be building a website using the HTML language so that you will be able to understand what to do with HTML and actually how to use it just like the rest of us. All right. So let's move on. So, what is HTML? It is not a programming language, but rather a markup language for formatting and displaying web documents and pages. It is the most commonly used markup language for web pages today. The more we understand both the principles and applied usage of HTML and markup language, HTML to an extent, other markup languages such as XHTML and find their roots in HTML, the more we can use it to deliver flexible and rich functionality to your web applications. So they are web applications, they are websites. All right. So there is also something I would like to make clear. A web page and a website are two different things. So a web page is usually referred to as a website that only contains one page alone. So when most people are referring to a web page, they don't know that they're talking about a website that only has one page in it. But a website can have one page but with numerous content. So it depends on what or how you make use of your JavaScript to display and hide information at the same time. So this is what the HTML is. So let's move on to the next slide. Good. So the HTML section. In the HTML, we have what is called the the structure of the HTML page. And for every structure, it's basically always the same. So we have the doc type, we have, I'll show you that in a bit. We have the doc type, we have the HTML tags, we have the head tags, we have the body tags, we have the meta tags inside the head tags, and so on and so forth. So in the head tags, we have the title tag, we have the style tag, which most of the time is not used. we have the script tag, and we have the link tag also. Then in the body tag, we then have the major part of the body, which is now referred to as the H1 tag, the H2, the P, and the A tag. So let me give you an example of what that is. Let me show you an example of what that is. Okay, so let me show you a website. This is a website I am currently developing. It's about music where people can actually download music from the web. So if you look here, you will see this is beats from around the world. So this beats from around the world is done using a H1 tag. Let me find it. Good. So you can see beats from around the world, H1. It's used to do this, and we have inline styling inside this website. Okay, so let us move on. So we have title tags. What are title tags? An example of a title tag is title tags. An example of a title tag is this. So what is a title tag? A title tag is actually the name of your website, the name of the website that you actually are on. So let's find out what that is. So if we come here, you can see here that the words inside here says buttons bootstrap version 5.1 getbootstrap.com. So this is where your title goes. So everybody who is building a particular website, once you put in words into that website, you can see that this is saying music, local or shared file. So this is where your title goes. So whenever you are doing a new project, whatever you put in between your title tags, it will appear above here. So your head section, this is your head section. This entire area above, it's your head section. So whatever you put in your head section would appear above here. And then once that is done, whatever you put in your body section will appear around these sections. So from this white above up, and from this blue downwards are two different sections. The first section is the head section, which carries numerous things. We have the meta tags, which are under the head sections. We also have the link tags to your CDNs, if you have any. We also have your title tags and your style tags, in case you have any. Then this body that's here, it's basically from this blue line, from this blue division down towards the end of it. So all you need to understand is that in the head section, we have the title tags, which carries the title of your website. We have the style tags, which basically carries uh, the styling of that particular website. We have the script tag, where most people like putting their script tags in the body section, because script tag is mostly your programming language. It's either your JS or your C plus, any of your programming language that you want to use to add functionality to that website. So most of the time, it is normally attached at the base of your body tag. So it's better to always attach it there so that it will be compiled after the HTML has been loaded, or after the HTML loads. So the meta tag, it's also another tag, and the meta tag doesn't have a closing tag. Now, what you see here as the meta tag with a closing tag inside it is actually XML, and it's not currently being used anymore in the HTML5. So the link tag also, which has a closing tag here, is also not longer being used. So this is the difference between XML and HTML, the current HTML5. So please, whenever you are doing this, make sure that you just use this, which is the normal link tag and opening tag. So what exactly is a tag? A tag is um, a piece of information enclosed inside brackets that actually hold content in between them. What do I mean? Let us take for example, let us take for example this style tag. Let me get this done. Good. Let us take, for example, this style tag. Now, this style tag, there are two of them. You have the opening tag and the closing tag. Now, every opening tag always has the lesser than sign, the name of the tag, and the greater than sign. Then a space in between for the content of whatever you are doing. So content goes here. You can see content goes here. Okay, but content is actually let's say your content, your work. Let's use a basic content. Let's say dot me. Good. So, so this here is your content, which is in the style. So every tags has an opening tag and a closing tag. So the difference, the major difference between an opening tag and a closing tag is the forward slash. Now, if you take a look at this place, you would see that the closing tag has a forward slash, which is this right here. So every closing tag has this forward slash. Okay, so you have to just understand what it is. Every closing tag has this forward slash, and with that, the concept of tags should be easily understood. It's not much of a big deal. So we have title tags, style tags, like I said before, script tags, and you can see that each of them has an opening tag and a closing tag. But there are some exceptional that only have a an opening tag, like the meta tag and the link tags. They all have an opening tag. This is under the head section. So under the body section, we have the heading tags, which ranges from 1 to 6, from H1 to H6. So if I should do H1 and put the content, and do H2 and put the content, all the content inside the H1 and the H2 would be different. Why? Because the H1 is bigger, always bigger than the H2. Now let's do a practical example so that I can show you. So let's create another file. Let's say example example.html. All right, great. So let's say HTML5. Now, if you are using the same text editor as I am using, if you are making use of VS Code, then it's pretty easy for you to be able to set up your template. What you simply do after creating your file is just type HTML and click on HTML5, and it basically opens up your template. So we have the doc type, which is always used. You can see that it's an exclamation mark before the doc type, and then we have HTML after. So there's a standard for writing HTML, and these are things I will show you later in other videos. But for now, I just want you to understand that this is the basic HTML template. So we have HTML language, English. This EN means English. We have head, which I just told you about, the head tag, which comprises of the meta tags. You can see the meta character UTF-8. We have meta HTTP equivalent, this meta name viewport, and title document. So if we are to save this and run this, from the browser, we'll look at the title, we would see that the title of this is called document. So back to what I wanted to show you. Let's say H1. This is my heading. Okay, let's say H2. This is my heading. All right, let's save that. Control Windows E. Let's save that and let's open. Okay, let's go to desktop. Mhm. What did we save that example? Okay, good. So let's open that up and you could see, voila, that is what we have. So if you look at the title, you could see it's document. So whatever you put on the title will appear here as document. So this is my heading. This is a H1 tag, and you see that it's bigger than the second one, which is the H2 tag. So that's how it is. The H3 is smaller than the H2. The H4 is smaller than the H3. The H5 is smaller than the H4, and the H6 is definitely smaller than the H5. So it ranks down in size when you move down. So we have the paragraph tag. So basically, the paragraph tag is simply a paragraph. Paragraph tag is just simply a paragraph. So let's say lorem 30. Oh, all right, sorry, that was the wrong spelling. Lorem 30. Good. All right. Let's reduce this a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now that just removed. But let's increase this a little bit so that you could. This is not increasing. Anyway, so this is a paragraph tag. So let's save it and then refresh. And voila, you see that it appears on the website. So it's basically very easy to use HTML just by using the tags. You can easily just build up the content of whatever it is you want to build up. So it's basically very easy for you to do what it is you want to do. So that is that about it. Let us move on to the next thing on the menu. Okay. So, okay, this is the desktop. Go to download. Let's open this up. Good. So we just talked about elements. So elements are a comparison of tags. We have tags, we have contents, and we have a closing tag. So that is what an element is. So we have the other opening tag, we have a content inside it, and then we have a closing tag. So we have an element there. So we next thing we have to discuss is HTML attributes. So let us talk about that HTML attributes. So let's say we are bringing in an image. Let's say we want to put in an image, img, src. Good. So this is an image that we want to bring into the website. So this is the tag for bringing in an image. So you can see that here there is no closing image tag. This is just put in there by me, but there is definitely no closing image tag. So this is one of the examples I was telling you about. Image tags are always only open tags. You don't have a closing image tag. Okay, so that's how it is. So in this open image tag, you can see here that we have an SRC, which means source. So what this source is trying to tell us is that where is this image coming from? So where am I supposed to pull this image from? So this is an example of an attribute. So there are so many different types of attributes. But let's go back. Let me show you more. So you can see this div here has an attribute of class, and this class has a name, cover. It also has an attribute of style, which is an inline styling, and so on and so forth. So almost every tag may have an attribute of class, especially those ones the that are inside the body tag. So this is an example of an attribute class, and there are so many other different types of attributes. So the more you work with a website, or the more you work with HTML, the more easier it becomes for you to understand what I'm referring to. So SRC basically means source. So it's asking you, where am I getting this image that you are asking me to bring into this website? So where am I getting the image from? So all we need to do is just type in the location of the image and then pull in an image. So let us say which of these are my favorites. Let's say two Baba. Save him. Let's refresh. You see, it's very pretty easy. You don't need any logic to do it. All you need to do is understand what the tag is and then use that particular tag to do exactly what it is you are looking for. Okay, so HTML attributes basically are ways to specify how a tag should be. They are basically write-ups to specify how a tag should be, like rules or sets of rules that can specify what exactly you want to add to that particular tag. So we can also still have, let's say, style, which is another one, another HTML attribute with width width, and then we can have, let's say, width. Let's make width 100%, the same width of the screen. Then let's say height, height. Let's make it 300 pixels. Oh, 300 pixels. Good. So let's refresh, and you just take notice of how this is excess is bigger than the width of the screen when I before I refresh. But when I refresh, you see that that bar that takes us above this is no longer here. Okay, but then you then have the image at 300 width, 300 pixel high, and then 100%. You can see there's a space here, and there's a space at the left hand side and also at the right hand side of the image. So this is how to actually specify how you want your content to be. So it's pretty easy. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, is a very easy markup language for you to learn, and I recommend it as a basic for anyone um, who wants to go into understanding HTML or web development. So it makes it much more easier for you to be able to know exactly what it is you want to do. All right. So basically, what have we learned from HTML? We have understood what a tag is. We understand what HTML, what an element is. We know about tags. We know about the different structure of the HTML language. We know about the doc type, the head, and the body. Now we also know that uh, every HTML tag must have HTML in it, and we then know the difference between an opening tag and a closing tag, and then you also understand that a closing tag is not compulsory for all tags. uh, all tags, there are tags that have closing tags and there are tags that do not have closing tags. So with that, we come to the end of today's class. Thank you very much for making it this far and following me on this journey to learning and understanding HTML. So I am Ekene Lishko, and this is the Ekene Lishko channel. I'll see you in the next series.